Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're like me, you often have a lot to do and not very much time to do it in. And sometimes, even though you have a lot to do, you may not even feel like doing any of it at all. Today, I want to share some tips for things that I have done to be productive even when I don't feel like it. Tip number one, do something for yourself first thing every morning. I have found that setting myself up for productivity often starts before I even have the chance to start checking things off my to-do list. I have shared before that meditation is key to my morning routine. It's part of a morning routine that I have thoughtfully put into place. And a big part of that is having time to myself every morning. It's really hard to be expected to begin your day full speed ahead. I feel like when it's time to be productive, I have had some time to myself to get myself mentally prepared to take on the day. Maybe for you, it's journaling or exercising or even watching the sunrise. Find something that you can do for yourself to start your day off on the right foot. Number two, get moving. Newton's first law of motion states, in essence, that a body in motion stays in motion and a body at rest stays at rest. I'm not necessarily referring to exercise at this point. For me, even just walking around the house gets my blood pumping and gets me ready to be productive. One of my biggest tips for getting things done in the morning is when I have the chance to be productive, I can't sit down or I might stay sitting down. If I know I have a lot to do and I don't feel like doing anything, even just walking around the living room is helpful. If my kids are having a hard time getting their chores done or getting ready to go somewhere, I often will challenge them to a jumping race down the hallway. They think it's hilarious and fun, but in reality, I know that what they need is just to start moving. Tip number three, trick your brain into doing something impactful first. For me, if my kitchen table is messy, my whole kitchen looks messy. If I take time to wipe my table down first thing in the morning, not only does it make everything else look better, but by this point, I've gotten myself moving and I've already done something that looks noticeable. Maybe for you, it's dishes. Pay attention to what that thing is that makes the most impact. This isn't necessarily going to mean that you're going to look to do the biggest thing first. Maybe for you, it's something small, but it is something that will make an immediate, noticeable difference. This helps your brain see that you're being productive and it gives you that momentum to keep going. Tip number four, if you can, silence the notifications on your phone. How often are we right in the middle of something and we get a text notification or a push notification of some kind and it completely derails our train of thought? I know that happens to me pretty often. Even when I'm not immediately looking at the notification or the text, it's still just the notification itself has the ability to derail my train of thought. When I need to get something done and I need to concentrate to some extent, silencing my phone notifications is extremely helpful. I recently read a study that was done about this very thing out of Florida State University that said even just the notifications themselves can immensely take away from focus. The researchers wrote, although these notifications are generally short in duration, they can prompt task-irrelevant thoughts or mind-wandering, which has been shown to damage task performance. Cellular phone notifications alone significantly disrupt performance on an attention-demanding task, even when participants do not directly interact with a mobile device during the task. Tip number five, turn on a song. If I have a sink full of dishes or some task that feels incredibly daunting that I know I at least need to get started on, I will often put on a song to just see what I can get done during that one song. Often one song turns into two or three, and before long, I've completed the task. I've mentioned before that I love listening to podcasts to get things done. When I am struggling to even feel like I want to get something done, turning on a song feels a little bit more bite-sized than committing to a full podcast. My kids love the song trick too, and often they will ask for a song while they do their chores. Tip number six, set a timer. Maybe listening to a song isn't your thing, but maybe setting a 5-minute timer is. Setting a timer and seeing what you can get done is often very helpful. At the very least, you get 5 minutes worth of things done. At the most, you feel motivated to keep going after your timer goes off and you get more than 5 minutes worth of things done. Tip number seven, use the strategy of pairing. I talked about this in my video, 5 ways to make habits work for you. But in essence, this strategy pairs doing something that you really don't want to do but needs to get done with something that you enjoy. Maybe you hate cleaning, but you love talking on the phone. Pairing those two things together gets the cleaning done in a less dreaded way. Pairing those two things together can help you be productive. There are so many different things that you can pair together to make this work. If you're having a hard time thinking of some things that you can pair together, I suggest making a list of things that you need to get done, and then alongside it, making a list of simple things that you enjoy doing. See which things from those lists can be paired together to make the things that you have to get done feel not so hard. This is different than multitasking. Multitasking is trying to get 2 or more things done at the same time. With the strategy of pairing, only one of the 2 things is something that you have to get done. The point isn't to do the phone call at the same time as the cleaning in order to save time or to get both items done. The idea is to do 2 things at the same time to give you the motivation to get the less desirable thing done with the help of something that you enjoy. Also, using the strategy of pairing isn't going to detract from the quality of either task. Now, some tips to consider to get yourself off on the right foot with being productive. Tip number 1, get enough sleep. Starting your day off on the right foot often starts with having gotten enough sleep the night before. I don't know of many people who consistently don't get enough sleep, but then who are ready to be productive and able to get a lot of things done the next day. Tip number 2, know the general layout of your day. As a mom, I know firsthand that things come up often on a whim, and I'm not always able to get the things done when I thought I was going to get them done. But I do know what my day looks like on a normal day, and I know when my biggest chunks of time to be productive are, and I can aim for getting things done during those specific chunks of time. I can be flexible and roll with things as they come up, but I at least know what times I'm aiming for productivity. Tip number 3, be specific about what it is you need to get done. However you choose to do that. Maybe it's a to-do list detailing out your day. Define what it is you need to get done. Maybe it's a list of household chores, or maybe it's a specific project. When I don't take time to define what it is I really need to get done, I often spend time flitting from thing to thing to thing, accomplishing far less than if I had just set out with something specific in mind. As far as getting household tasks done, I personally use a cleaning schedule. I may do a video about this in the future, but scheduling out household tasks over the course of a week makes it so much easier to know what needs to get done that day. For example, I always clean bathrooms on Tuesday. I mean, after all, it is pretty easy to remember Toilet Tuesday. I even put my cleaning tasks on my daily to-do list so I know what I need to get done that day. Not only does it take out the guesswork of trying to figure out what needs to be done that specific day, but knowing what you're supposed to do each day helps you mentally prepare to just get it done. Whatever it is that you need to get done, be specific and also be realistic. And lastly, avoid multitasking when you can. I know as a parent, I multitask way more than I probably should. I think it's a survival technique or something to be able to at least be meeting part of the needs of everyone that's demanding something from you in that moment. And while there are times when multitasking is inevitable, when it's time to get things done and you don't have to multitask, be very aware of the temptation to multitask. We live in a society where multitasking is often labeled as efficiency. I know for me, multitasking makes me think I'm being efficient. After all, I've just touched 3 different projects in the past 10 minutes. Therefore, I must be being efficient. Never mind the fact that I got none of them done. But have you ever thought that maybe when you're multitasking, you're being much more inefficient than if you had just focused on one single task at a time? I recently read several studies about multitasking, and not a single one of them showed that multitasking increased productivity or efficiency at all. In fact, they showed just the opposite. Multitasking hurts productivity and efficiency. And these were all studies done out of Stanford and Yale universities. I hope this gave you a tip or 2 for things that you can do to be productive even when you don't feel like it. I would love if you would like and subscribe and leave me a comment down below with something that helps you be productive even when you don't feel like it. Thanks for watching, friends. Have a great day.